Joel Walls here with the DVE store. So today we're going to be unboxing the new Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. All right, let's unbox this camera and see what's inside. All right, we'll just take a razor blade knife here and we'll go ahead and get this guy opened. Ooh, it's like getting a new present. All right, let's take a look. See what we got in here. All right, so right at the top here, we got the software and the owner's manual on the SD card. And then we got the DaVinci Resolve, the Studio. Looks like it has the activation key here. And then, all right, up at the top, we got a Canon style battery from Blackmagic. We also have, it includes the charger for it. And it looks like it goes to a 2-pin for the AC power. And then up top here we have the universal adapters depending on which country you're in. We'll be wanting to use the US version here. Let's see if this battery has any juice though. We'll leave the charging AC components off to the side. Here it is, guys. This is the camera. Overall size, you know, it's pretty much like a standard DSLR style camera. Nice big screen that I'm already noticing here on the back. So we'll go ahead and pop that off. One thing I'm kind of noticing here is that it would be cool that if the screen could shift. So that way when you're having like a low shot, then you could have the screen propped up. So versus having to like, you know, duck down and see. So that'd be a pretty cool addition for later on, like a version 2 on this camera, if they had it where the screen could tilt up. So that way you could see your shot from like the awkward angles, or if you had the camera high up, then you could tilt the screen back and be able to see it from down below at an easier angle. Looking on top here, we have our record button. We got a photo buttons because this camera will do stills. Pretty cool feature on there. It has a physical hard button to turn the camera on. Looks like we have a couple presets that we can program a function in there. We have, looks like the auto iris and focus. Probably a zoom in for the critical focus to be able to zoom in and then grab your focus, pull your focus, and then you would be able to have it zoom out. Or there could be a zoom feature here. On the side, we're looking at the camera here. Looks like we have an external microphone input we can put in. We also have headphones so then we can hear what we're recording. We also have a HDMI jack, and it's a full size, so yes, we don't have to convert any of the micros or minis or any of that fun stuff. Coming in here, let's see, we have, looks like the power. So here's where we'll have, from earlier we had our power adapter. So for AC, we have the 2 prongs. This guy will just plug right in there. So for running it off AC power, that guy will line up right there. We also have a mini XLR to be able to bring audio in, very nice. And then USB-C. Oh, that's pretty cool. So what I've heard and seen from users with this camera is that you can actually use a SSD card or an SSD drive to be able to record instead of using, say, like, you know, with a compact flash here. These guys are a little pricey, so a lot of people are using the SSD drives, and then you can go in USB-C with one of these. This is the G-Tech. This is a 1 terabyte, and it will do approximately about 560 megabytes per second for its read-write speed. So this could be paired up with the camera, and then you would just go right in to the side here, USB-C. So a cheaper alternative to go with an external recorder versus using the CFast 2.0 card. I'm assuming it's got to be 2.0, going off of the Ursa Minis. So then your CFast card will go in right here, and then you have your SD card slot on the right side of the camera here. This camera will use a micro four thirds lens. For those of you that are using still the Canon EF lenses or any EF lenses, a Metabones speed booster adapter might be something pretty handy. This will allow you to convert your Canon lenses over to the micro four thirds, so you could use this with the camera. And this one's the Metabones. This is their EF to MFT micro four thirds mount. This is the speed booster. This is the 0.71x. This will help adjust the lens perspective from going from the larger style lens to for the smaller fitment here with the sensor. It'll pop in right there. So now we'll be able to attach in an EF lens and be able to use our existing glass if you already own the EF lenses. So if not, if you're brand new to this camera, you could just start buying up micro four thirds lenses. So let's go ahead and put in a battery. Maybe it's got some juice on there still from the manufacturer. Sometimes they ship those batteries and they're already dead. I know that you'll want to put a full charge on it before using, but for this demo, let's go ahead and power this guy on, and we'll just, should be able to power on. There we go, nice. Overall, looks like we probably have some built-in microphones, which you never really want to use unless you really have to, or you're just using it for reference. It looks like we have a record tally light up here in the side. Looks like we have another option to be able to hit record up on the front of the camera here. We have our ISO button. Looks like we have our shutter control, and then we also have white balance here on top of the camera for quick access. So let's pop on a lens. So now we have a lens on here, and we can go in and we can change our white balance. I love that they use the touch screen, so then that way you can, dial it in, or else you can, just go with the up and downs with the arrows up here on the side. You have the presets here, so for the indoors, outside, your automatic if you want to do automatic. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, that's pretty cool. You can even see your voltage from the battery when you select that. We have all of our the tint from there. Our ISO, we're going to be able to go all the way down to 100 and be able to go all the way up to 25,600 for there. Time code, we can just have a free time code, free running, or we can have it each clip, I'm assuming probably start and stop. Our iris, full on touchscreen. We can do how did I get there? Let's see, probably, looks like if you swipe left or right, looks like a typical Blackmagic products that allows you to be able to set your clips for relabeling the scenes on there. We also have an auto exposure right here, so then it'll control the shutter, or just iris. You got shutter and, iris and shutter, and then shutter and iris. So it looks like probably like the aperture priority or shutter priority is going to be one of those modes on there. Shutter, let's see, it's still in the degrees. I'm sure there's probably maybe a setting in there that we can change it. All right, so going into, let's see if we can find the menu for this. Looks like, I'm guessing that it's going to be these three bars. It looks the closest to anything on here for being able to go into the menu. Yep, we got the menu, so then we can go in and set what we want to actually record in RAW or ProRes. We have definitely some options that we can choose from. You can go and set up your project, set up if you're doing an SD card or a CFast. Lots of options to go through in here. Time-lapse mode for those of you doing like the time lapses. See here, we can control like our focus assist, zebra, lots of cool stuff in here. Controlling it on the HDMI for when you're sending it out to a monitor. We have our audio settings in here, so I'm assuming you could probably use like the internal camera mic, plus then on the other source, then you'd have your audio from that mini XLR on the side. And then this is gonna be our setup. Oh, nice, looks like they changed it. Now you can do the shutter speed. So if we come back out, this will be the actual shutter speed versus using the degrees for the shutter. I like that. I'm a little more used to that side versus the actual shutter angle with the degrees. You got your 50 hertz if you're in the UK, or 60 hertz if you're in the US. We got presets, so then you can go in and customize. All right, so then we have HFR. I'm gonna guess that's probably a high frame rate is gonna be my guess. I haven't dived into this quite completely, but it looks like it does 60 frames, and then you have the option to go to 24 frames depending on what your project that you've set this up on. I'm guessing that's gonna be a high frame rate is gonna be my guess. You have your playback to see your footage that you just shot. And then we have our zoom feature here. This is going to be for the critical focus. So it's a digital zoom in. It won't record that feature in your footage. It's just there for being able to do like the critical focus. So it looks like underneath our features up here, we have a couple functions in the camera. This probably allows us to be able to do like a proper exposure, it looks like. We also have on the second button, we got a quick link up to the LUTs. And then it looks like on our third button on the function, this brings up your 16:9 bars for safety. So for action safe, or if you were to have title safe. The other accessory I wanted to bring up before I also show you, and with Wooden Camera, they have a bunch of accessories. We'll jump right there in a minute. Coreswix, they have a battery option. So it's a V-mount battery. And we'll go ahead and open this guy up. And what you get with the Coreswix, this could be a good power option for everyone, is the battery. So it'll have a quick release plate that'll allow you to attach this to the bottom of the camera. And then from there, you can attach it so you can quick release your camera on and off the battery as needed. So the way that this would be hooked up is then you would have your plug in your VDC power right here, and then you have the dummy battery that would go into the bottom of your camera. And it looks like there's not a spot for the actual cord to lay into for this. So we'll need to probably remove this door, which is just this little switch that's inside of the battery door that allows you to be able to take the door off and then be able to attach our battery to the bottom of the camera. And then Wooden Camera, here we have all the accessories with the Blackmagic Pocket 4K Camera. So there is a ton of stuff that you can deck this camera out with. On top of Shape is another one. There's also 8Sin. So definitely there's a lot of accessories for this camera and different ways you can rig this out. If you had any questions or like to know more, feel free to email me at joelw@dvestore.com. Thank you, and stay tuned for our next episodes.